Hi there everyone. We're going to create a orthogonal drawing from a 3D picture. So the plan is to start with our model, our 3D model that we have here, and from that to generate a working drawing or working orthogonal drawing. An orthogonal is a multi-view drawing. It's often used in engineering, and orthogonals have some features. You always have an elevation or a front view, and on top of it a top view, to the right a right hand side view if you're working in third angle projection, which we are. And also you'll see hidden detail lines, they're the dotted lines. So those dotted lines represent surfaces that aren't immediately obvious to the naked eye where you're looking at the object without X-ray vision. So they show you hidden edges or hidden details. Okay, that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get started. So we're going to start with our 3D drawing here, and we're going to enter into the drawing design area. So from design down here, go to drawing, and drawing select from design. Now this dialog box opens up, and you can accept manual, accept the contents as visible only. So if you wanted to draw, say, just one of these bodies, you could uncheck with the eye here any of the items that you see, and what you're left with, what you're watching after you've unchecked any and made invisible, and the items that you don't want, will be the thing that will be imported into the drawing. So we're going to do the whole chair, so we'll leave visible only, and we'll leave everything turned on so we can see the whole chair. Now I choose the size of my sheet. It's going to be an A4 sheet, and I choose the orientation in portrait rather than landscape, and we're choosing ISO standards. So use ISO, International System Organization, and click OK. Now there will be a couple of seconds while it ka-chunks and opens up a new drawing. And you'll notice that here's the new, it's blank, the drawing canvas, and the chair is hovering on my cursor, and it's a bit small for our purposes. So across to the right hand side here you can see all the import options, and notice that the scale is 1 to 20. So if I change that scale to 1 to 10, you're going to notice that the chair's a lot bigger. You can probably still make it bigger, so we might try 1 to 8, colon 8, and you'll notice the chair will get bigger again, and I might be able to, well, maybe 1 to 7.5. So 1 to 7.5 is the scale, and that looks good to me. So you notice that the cursor underneath it has a little text box that says place the base view. So you organize where you want that front view to be, and I'm going to place it, say, here. And then I'm left clicking, so I've solidified the view there. It stays there, anchored there. Now I'm going to go up the top here under the drawing tab, and where it says projected view, I'm going to select that by left mouse button clicking. And then within projected view it says select the parent view. That's the view that you want to project from. So I've only got one view, I'm going to use that one. You notice another drawing straight away appears, and if I drag it up, that you'll see it, there'll be a top view, and if I drag it across, it'll be a right hand side view. So let's do that, and we'll drag up and create a top view. And if I wanted to, I can drag across here on an angle and I'll create a 3D view. I'm going to do that just out of interest. It's a little bit large for me, so right click and then click OK. So that 3D view is a bit on the large size, but at the moment I've placed my drawing. Now this larger view, I'm going to make that smaller. So if I just hover over it and left button select it, left mouse button, then right click and go edit view, I get my dialog drawing box up here again, and we've got the scale set at 7.5. I'm going to make it 1 to, say, 6. And that view is bigger. Let's make it 1 to 10 to make it smaller. And the chair's smaller. And now if I click OK or click close, I should be able to bring that chair into focus and have it sitting inside the drawing. It's on a different scale to the drawing. Now this title block's under here, you can keep it if you want, or if you want you can just left mouse button click it, select it, hit delete, and it's gone. And now you can move just by dragging your whole project backwards and forwards to get it to the point where it suits you. Alright, one more thing to note is that we don't see hidden detail here. So if I right mouse button click and click edit view here, and at the moment it's hovering, the style is hovering over this little button here, which is no, or select it. If I hover over this one, it says visible and hidden edges. I do want to show the hidden edges. I can also do only visible edges. So I'm going to do visible and hidden. So click that. You'll notice that now all of these drawings show visible and hidden edges. It's a bit complicated for this one. So I'm going to hit close. Then I'm going to select this drawing again, right mouse button click. I'm going to edit that view. And this one I'm going to select just visible edges only. So I've got the different styles of drawing that I want to have. I'm going to click close. Now the next thing to do is to label it. So we can go up here to text, and you can click text and click on the text, and you'll create a text box. Let's just make it there. We can move it later if you want to. Left mouse button to select. Now the height of the text here, I'm going to make it say 5mm, and I'll choose the style as Calibri if I can find it. ABC Calibri is there. Good. I'll make it bold, and I'll type what I need to type in, which is Year 10 chair orthogonal. Okay. I'm going to click close, and it's there. Now it's not quite in the right spot. I should be able to grab it and just drag it by highlighting it and place it where I want. You can also import a table in here, or construct a table if you want. I'm just going to leave it like that at the moment and show you how to dimension. So what we want to do now is to dimension this drawing. So to produce something which shows us all of the sizes and shapes that we need, that'll be really helpful for us. So let's grab this dimension here, go up to the dimension tab on the toolbar, and if you select the drop down menu, there's all different types of dimensions. The standard dimension, you can even auto dimension the whole thing. So if you click like that, it'll ask you to select a different type or style of dimensioning. You can go with all sorts of different things here. Let's try, we want one that gives us enough detail that we can make the chair. So I'll select this one just to show you. And now we've just got ourselves dimensions in one click. So some of these you'll probably find are not that relevant. And so for example, knowing that distance of 7.61 between these two lines is not that relevant. You can edit those, or another thing that you can do is to I'll Control Z it, dimension it. There we go. Let's dimension it by hand. So we'll select the dimensioning tool, and then we can pick the dimensions that we want. Once you select the dimension tool, it's highlighted. Click on a vertice or an edge, click on another second edge with your left mouse button and drag up, and you'll be able to dimension. Now it's probably going to be helpful to remember what dimensions you're going to really need. So I'm going to be very careful and precise about what you're going to do, and you'll find that you can select the dimensions that you need. Now I know that this distance here to that distance there is 30. Notice how I'm dragging the dimensions out. I'm dragging them away from the project. I don't want them sitting right up inside the project. I want the dimensions to sit outside of the project so it doesn't clutter it. Right, next thing I should say, well, I want to have this dimension over here. Now you can dimension all your views. I'm just dimensioning the top view at the moment, but you can dimension others. So it helps to do that so you don't clutter a single view with all sorts of stuff that you don't need. I'm going to use the panhandle and move it around a little bit, and I'm going to select some more dimensions over here. So we'll grab the dimensioning tool again. I might give the height of this leg from that point to scrolling close so you can get exactly the dimension that you want to there. It's 430. I want to maybe make the height of this from here, the height of the rail, 65, and I might want to tell myself the distance from here to there is 400, and the width of this table. Now I've got to be careful about this one because I want to go right from here. Now see how we're not getting a straight dimension, it's always at an angle. If you go up to dimension here now and select a linear dimension, it will only give you horizontal or vertical dimensions. So select linear dimension, and then we can try and select the top of and the bottom, and we'll only get a linear dimension, which is pretty good for us. 19 millimeters, which is what we expect. Okay, now some more dimensions. Try and avoid duplicating dimensions if you don't need to. It's probably a helpful idea. Like that would be a duplicate dimension. We've already been told that it's 30 wide over in the top drawing. Can you see over there? 30 wide. See, we don't need to have this 30. Let's suppose you want to get rid of a dimension. Just hover over it. Try and hover over it. Oh, I'm inside another drawing tool. So once you escape out of the drawing tool, hover over the dimension, left mouse button, click it, hit the delete button, and that dimension is erased or removed. Okay, now you can think of any other dimensions that you might want to include there. For example, you might want to have a small dimension in between the middle of these points. You can also create a detail view, and that can be quite interesting. So a detail view creates a circular detail of a proportion of the design. Let's click detail view, and then let's click this section right over here. So we're going to select the parent view. There it is there, and then we're going to create a circle by dragging out with the left mouse button. I'll select it, and what I have now is an enlarged version of that view, which I'm going to place, say, down, maybe, let's have a look at it. Maybe not a lot of happy spots for it. I might try and drop that thing down a little bit and place it. Alright, I'll place it down here. There it is. Now on that assemble view, or this detail view, by the way, with a detail view I'm going to edit this, edit the view. A dialog box should pop up again, which I've just used. I think I've shrunk it down somewhere. Not comments, browser. No, we're all good. We've got the detail view over here. Now you see how it's a lot larger? So we've increased the size from there to here. And that means that I can now dimension this view with a whole lot more detail and make it easy to see. So I could take, maybe select a center line, which might help us. There's the center line. And by clicking between two lines, I've got a center line. See that? Now, why is that center line important? Well, I can find the center of each of those two mortises now by grabbing my dimension, selecting one of the center lines that I've created, selecting the other one, drag it out, and then I have the distance between those two dominoes. And that's really handy for me to be able to know. I might want to also decide that I'd like to do a dimension which is an aligned dimension, a linear dimension, and I might want to go from the right at the apex of that to right at the apex of this, take it out, and it's just about 20 millimeters, which is pretty good. But I don't even want that. I think I'm going to go from right at the, I'll do the same thing, choose an aligned dimension again, a linear dimension I should say. I'm going to go right from the apex of that circle to there, and there you go. So it's 7.61 millimeters. So if I go from the top of that beam 7.61, and then I make a scribe a line, then I scribe a line which is another, where are we, 28, 29, almost 30 millimeters down, I know exactly how to place those two mortises for the domino. So that's handy. Okay, you can do other dimensions if you choose, but just the key dimensions that, for example, this one over here, from that point to that point, 46.36. So maybe we'll also want to do, and this time we don't do an aligned dimension, we'll do an aligned dimension. So I want to go from here, from that point to this point, to say that it's 90 millimeters. And the alignment means that you line up your dimension leader line with the object that you're measuring. So that's an aligned dimension. Okay, any other questions you have, you can ask away, and we'll type in, and I hope you enjoy this, or ask me in class. Okay, so we've just completed our orthogonal drawing based on a 3D model that we've created earlier on. Thank you.